Hi, my name is Galen Sipes, and this is my instructional video on how to play my game Dyson Sphere. I am uh, recording it now because I will be leaving on a plane for 2 weeks in a couple of hours, so I won't be able to take this with me and do everything I want to do. Um, so some stuff is not completely finished, but it is essentially 95% done. So I can still show off how the game is played. I've already done some setup. The only thing that players have to decide is what they buy with their little 3D credits. Um, but other than that, I'm just going to show about 2 rounds, then a special round using these larger cards, and a round for the end of the game. So Dyson Sphere is a game where that 6 people can play, 7 if you really want to include someone for the extra special character. But the way it goes is each turn, um, one player rolls a 6-sided die, and that determines how far the team goes. Basically, the team crash landed on this mega structure called Dyson Sphere, and they need to escape, but the Dyson Sphere is going to explode in 25 months because the star at the center um, is collapsing thanks to the AI that is running the place. It's very interested in the team, and from time to time it will force them to do something, or else it's going to kill them all. Um, so the game is essentially a survival game. In space, random stuff happens each month, determined by several different types of cards. The team needs to manage their credit resources, their token resources that they can find throughout the game, and they can buy from special facilities. You can't really see them here, but they're these yellow hexagons. They need to manage how their ship is doing, if it's too damaged. If a section gets damaged, then they start losing supplies, and if it's totally damaged all the way, then they can't use that section until they repair it. Then we just have our storage. You can store a lot of stuff on this shuttle, but you can't completely fill it with all your credits. So you will likely run out of stuff from time to time, and it's gonna just make it more challenging. All right. So let's start off. We start off at the 3 black hexagons on one side of the map, and our goal is to get to the 4 purple hexagons at the top. And we just need to survive. And if we get there, then we need to call for help and have a shuttle come and escape before the star explodes. All right. So we start off. We've got some supplies here. We got a bunch of tokens. They're kind of hard to see, but we have our food tokens. We have fuel, just like a jerry can. We have ammo crates. We have guns, cyber cores, repair kits, med kits. Pretty much your essential survival tokens. So at the start of the game, the characters, they use these different credits, and or spools. I need to rename them to spools. You use them to print stuff at 3D stations, and this is a list of all the stuff you can buy and their prices and all that. This is how many rounds we have left in the game. And that starts out at 1. Alright, so let's start. Alright. We roll 6-sided die. We move 6 spaces. Alright. So we can choose which way we want to go, but in general, you'll want to go on a path that will lead you close to one 3D printer facility, so you can replenish your supplies if you need them. All right, so I'm gonna move this direction around the map. You can't go straight through because that's where the star is, and if you try to do that, then you will damage your shuttle. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So we've moved. We have 6 characters. Technically 7, but 1 character you have to that comes in later. These 6 characters, every month they need food. Your shuttle needs fuel as well every month. So every time you move, doesn't matter how far, you take 6 food tokens. You take 6 food tokens and you discard them. Put them right on top of the pile here. This is all kind of a mess. I accidentally whacked this thing. And then you also remove 1 fuel token, fuel cell. It powered the ship, powered your shuttle, and we've already lost a bunch of food because we ate it all. Now we also have to draw 6 cards. We draw 4 cards from the stack labeled events, and we draw 2 from the stack labeled decision. The way these work, event cards are events that happen, and the players can do nothing about them. It's like, oh, there was a natural disaster, or they get attacked by, some wild creatures on the Dyson sphere, and they can use their special abilities to combat those events, which I'll get into once we draw the cards. And decision cards are cards that require input from several players on whether they want to do what is on the card. Decision cards are very beneficial and also very damaging if you fail. Essentially, they're decisions the team has to make about whether they want to follow through what is on the card or if they want to discard the card and move on. So let's draw 4 decision cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dang it. All right. Now we take them and we turn them over. Oh look, one of them is peaceful month. Nothing happened. So maybe one of the weeks is peaceful. But uh-oh, the team accidentally eats some poisonous food and everyone gets sick. Now these kinds of cards, these are what special abilities are used for. On your characters you have special abilities and you have stats. Stats are used for decision cards and your action cards, which I will get into. And then all the text down below, that is the special ability of the character. So for example, the researcher has a special ability where if the team gets sick, like what this card said, then they can take a 12-sided or a 20-sided die, a d20, and they can roll. If they roll high enough, the effects of they do not take most of the effects of the card. They may, for example, the researcher, if I roll a 12 or higher, we don't get sick, we don't lose any food. However, we do have to remove a med kit. If I roll between 4 and 12, the effects of the card take place, and if I roll less than that, then we lose more stuff. It's not good. All right, let's roll. So 14. All right. So we don't take any illness and we don't lose any food. However, we do have to remove a med kit. Put that over here. I'm just gonna zoom. Okay. So that's one event. Now, because the researcher used that ability, they can't use that ability for any other cards that come up that they could use it for. Alright. Let's see. A tribe of primitives raid the cargo bay. Remove the top, so we get attacked, and then the effects of this card, we would have to remove the top row of items from the cargo bay. This is our cargo bay, this middle one here. We have our left storage bay, our main cargo bay, and our right storage bay. Um, so thanks to this card, if we let it happen, then we have to remove the top row of items. But the bounty hunter can defend us. The bounty hunter's special ability is if attacked by primitives, creatures, or robots, he can try and prevent us from taking damage, getting injured, or losing supplies. So we roll for him. And that is, oh wait, a 9. So that was not high enough for us to, we needed to get a 12 or higher. So we have to remove this top row of items from our cargo bay, which is unfortunately all food. So we have to be careful with where we put stuff. We also, each character takes 1 injury in the raid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we also take 1 illness because those primitives were filled with disease. Okay. So let me go for the illnesses here. 1. So it's very easy for characters to get sick and injured. But in this game, if you get injured too badly or get too sick, then you can't you lose your you die, and then your body has to be reconstructed, and that's not pleasant. All right. So, and then our last card. Oh, this is good. We stumble upon an alien healing facility, healing and repair facility. Which reminds me, no, actually, it doesn't say that there. We didn't actually take damage. All right. So these are really good cards. They're kind of rare, but basically all the stuff that happens to us, it just goes away thanks to these facilities. So we add 10 food. We add 5 fuel to our shuttle. We remove 5 injuries, 5 illnesses, and we remove 3 damage to each section of the shuttle. So we haven't taken any damage to shuttle sections, which is good. We remove all our illnesses. We add 10 tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We add 5 fuel as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, let's get some fuel. We take 5 fuel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's spread these out. Let's put some of this fuel into one of our extra storage bay capacities. Oh, and as an effect of the bounty hunter failing, you also have to discard one of our ammo tokens. I forgot about that. basically for each character, if they successfully their if they use their ability, they have to discard an item. All right. So we add 5 fuel. There's 5. So we didn't take any damage to our shuttle, thankfully. So we don't have to do any of that. All right. So our event cards are over. We now do our 2 decision cards. All right. First decision. The shuttle lands near a watering hole for animals. The animals have some good meat on them and can be a good source for food. 2 players roll a die. 1 player adds their aim stat to the roll, and the other player adds their medicine stat to the roll. If both totals are at least 25, add 6 food to the inventory and lose 2 ammo. Otherwise, lose 5 ammo and gain no food. So that's our first decision card. These required the whole team should decide if they want to go through with a decision card. But decision cards only require input from at most 2 players. Decision cards have gains and consequences. So if you successfully complete if you are successful with the decision card, if your team decides to go through it and complete it, your team will gain some items. If they fail, you lose more items, and it could be not so good for your team. All right. So let's see. The other one is the team accidentally activates a sentry, but its guns look like they can be used by humans. 2 players roll a die. 1 player adds their aim score, and the other adds their armor score. If both totals are at least 22, the sentries are destroyed and their 4 guns are taken. Each gun adds +5 to the aim stat of each player. That should actually be 6. Else each player takes 2 damage and loses 3 crates of ammo. Okay, so there are 2 decision cards. We only have time to pick 1. So in this case, I think we're going to go with the getting extra food. The guns can be useful, especially when it comes to action cards. So I'm going to take this decision card, and I'm going to put it on the bottom of the deck, if that's where you put your unused decision cards. And we're going to just do this one. All right, so this is where it gets kind of tricky. I don't say you need to have a specific character, because each character, their stats, each character is maxed out in one particular stat. We have our aiming stat, our repairing stat, diplomacy, armor, healing or medicine research, piloting, and our hacking ability, our hacking stats. So the hacker is obviously the best in hacking, the researcher is best at healing, diplomat is best at diplomacy, the mechanic is best at repairing, the bounty hunter is best at aiming, and the pilot is the best at piloting. So this card wants 2 players, one with their aim stat and one with their medicine stat, because you got to kill the animal and then clean it and make sure it's viable to eat. So because we have all 6 characters, so we have the researcher and the bounty hunter. We're just going to take these 2, and they each roll a d20, and they add the bounty hunter adds his aim stat, which is 10, to his roll. The researcher adds her healing, her medicine and research stat. All right. So these numbers are kind of high because it is tricky to get them. I might have to reduce them in the future. It's 15. Okay. So the researcher just barely got away with it. 25. You need the bounty hunter and the researcher need to get at least 25 for each of their rolls. Oh, oops. I'll roll it over here. Oh, sorry. 16. Yes, I may have moved it, but that's because I want to show off the card. Alright, so both characters reached 25 or more. So now we get to add 6 food to our inventory. So enough for 1 month for each character. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna add these to our left storage. And 6. Okay. So, and then we also lose 2 ammo because we had to shoot the animals. So we take 2 ammunition from our 8 storage and we place them here. So the thing about storage is that it's dynamic where you place stuff. However, the only stuff you can access for use is whatever is in your main cargo bay. What's in your storage bays. That's just for storage. You can't use those to, if you put food in there, you start the next turn, then you can't access food from storage bays. Or if you need to use a repair kit, you can't use it, and you don't have one in your main cargo bay. You can't use one until you shuffle your storage bays around, and that happens at the end of the turn. Okay, so we completed that decision card, and that is essentially the end of one turn. So we moved pretty far, and then once we're done, no one's sick or injured, so we don't have to use a repair kit or a med kit. Our shuttle isn't damaged. But if we did, then, like, for example, let's say these are damage tokens. We have bullet holes and claw marks. And essentially, if we use them on the ship, repair kits, a repair kit is for mechanical objects, robots, guns, the ship. So a repair kit can remove 2 damage in total on the shuttle. So you can remove 1 damage from 2 sections or 2 damage from a section. So in this case, our main cargo bay, everything is damaged, like our engines and everything. Engines it's really not good if your engines are damaged, because if your engines are damaged, you can't move as far. So if our engines are damaged, we have to let's repair it. So we will take one of our repair kits. No, one of our repair kits. Let's say we have one in our cargo bay. We take one of these. This is at the end of the turn. We take our repair kit and we use it, and we remove 2 damage, and then we can use another one and repair another 2 damage, and then we still have some damage left, but we are either out of repair kits, or we decide, hey, we don't want to use all our repair kits right now. If people are healed, or if people are injured or sick, one medkits heal 1 injury for each person, and they can heal 1 illness from each person at the same time. So the team has to. Medkits are team based. We can't do anything else with them. Okay, so that's 1 turn down. Now we take our rounds left and we take our indicator from 1 and put it on 2. Now, let's say we're at, round 15. We're over here, and we've got some of our characters sick or injured, and one of them is unfortunately dead thanks to the events of 1 round. So 5 injuries or 3 illnesses, or a combination of them, can kill a player. So the diplomat got sick 3 times. They're dead. What happens in this game, death is not the end. This researcher's body was taken to the nearest printer facility right here, and their body was printed by a 3D printer. And the team, if they want to add the diplomat back, they need to fly over, and the next turn they can pick her up. Or if they're running out of turns, they can go on ahead to um, to the comms relay where they signal for help. And essentially, if they do decide to go reach, okay, if they do decide to go for diplomat, she comes back on the ship, but her stats are each stat is reduced by 2. So she's back, but her stats are all dropped by 2. And you can do this 4 times for each character until they die. So that's that mechanic. Now, every 5 rounds, we play an action card. Action cards are pretty in-depth, but essentially they are several objectives that need to be completed by the team for the AI. And the steps are written down on action cards. You just have to do one every 5 rounds, but they can either be really good for your team or really bad. Basically, if you complete them, successfully complete them, the AI running the place will be happy. If you don't, the AI won't be happy. You want the AI to be happy. If the AI is not happy, then it can kill your entire team or heavily damage your shuttle, and then you have to try to limp along afterwards. So in this case, this one is we have to kill some animals in a facility. So there's a bunch of different steps here. We first have to enter the lab without alerting the creatures. We have to locate the creatures, and we have to kill them. I'm running out of time here. So we enter the lab without alerting them. You have to roll a d20, and if you roll high enough, in this case is 7, you get a bonus to a stat. If you don't, then you don't get a stat bonus. Step 2, it's like the first one. We need to roll, and if we get high enough, we get another stat. If we fail it, then we can get then that's not good for your character. The next step can cause extra damage to your character. So in this case, the third step, we have to kill the creatures. If you failed step 2, and this is individual players do this. If a player failed step 2, then they get hit by the creatures first. So in this case, the creatures, what you have to do, you have to first. It's an RP. This is more of an RPG part. This is kind of like D&D. You need to see if you hit them. You have to roll, and then you add your aim stat, and you have to roll your aim stat, and you can add your bonus. And if you successfully do that, then you have to roll to see how much damage you do. In this case, you have to do 10 damage. You roll a d6 3 times. 5, 6, 8. Just barely killed it. So then it will attack back and deal damage to a character, and then they can attack again, and they have to see if they hit. So that's how. And then we have these. So these kinds of cards exist. If the team is successful, then they escape with some extra items and they can move along. If they fail, then they pretty much all die, and they all have to go to the nearest printer facility and start again from there. So that's action cards. Once those are done, on every 5 rounds you do action cards. You do action cards instead of your event and decision cards. So once you get to, so let's say your team gets to all the way to the end. Great job, you guys got there successfully. Hopefully you aren't all dead. From there, that's where we need to call for help. Well, we get to the comms relay, but it's damaged. We need to fix it, we need to call for help, and then we need to get out or get off the Dyson sphere. So essentially, when you get there, you don't draw cards anymore unless it's action cards, and it's you go to round 20. Basically, your team has to roll to see if you successfully repaired the comms relay. Your team has to roll to see if you successfully call a shuttle, and then your team has to roll if you successfully pilot the shuttle or the ship out of the Dyson sphere. And each step, essentially, every player, there's a total number that needs to be reached, and every player will roll, and then if the number is reached before the round is over, so let's say, for example, you need to repair the comms relay. So you need to add. So you take all your repairing stats. Let's say everyone's still alive. You got items in here. You need to repair it. So everyone rolls, and they roll a D. They each roll a D6, and they add their repairing stat. So in this case, for the hacker, he rolls a 1, and he adds his repairing stat of 6 for a total of 7. And I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but each round or each step requires a certain number to be reached, and then the next step starts. If everyone goes and does not successfully complete a step, then that round ends and another one begins. You'll have to remove food tokens. You don't have to worry about fuel or anything, or really about your shuttle anymore. But if that happens, if you fail it, then you have to go to the next step. So you just repeat that 3 times and see if you guys get off. Alright, I hope everyone enjoyed this instructional video. I know it was kind of long and in-depth. My game has a lot of steps and rules, and I hope I got everything. If not, let me know. I won't be able to I will not be able to show off all the parts in real life because they will have to stay here at home, but I have all the files on my computer so I can add them to my video. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, thank you so much.